This is video 3 about the Bird Migration Explorer. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the location section in greater detail, including bird connections data. You can start by clicking on the orange locations button on the screen or at the top of the screen. This will open up the Locations Explorer panel. You could start out by exploring one of these featured locations. These are migration hotspots around the hemisphere that make a good connections map. These featured locations will be rotated over time so that lots of different places can be shown. If you go to the search bar, you could click on Near Me, or you could type in a place of interest. So today I'm going to look up Salt Lake City, Utah. This produces a map that shows all the places that Salt Lake City is connected to across the hemisphere through their local migratory birds. The map is based on millions of re-encounter data from tracking, banding, MODIS, and genetic information. On the left sidebar, I can learn a lot more about this place that I've searched for, starting with a list of countries that I'm connected to through my local migratory birds. I can also find out about conservation sites near the location that I searched. And if I click on any of these cards, it'll take me to the website about that place. Audubon Near Me will show me state offices, local chapters, centers, and so on. The Available Map section is where I can learn more about the methods and the interpretation of these maps by clicking Learn More About This Map and going to the About section. This map is based on available data, so it's not showing us everywhere that birds go from Salt Lake City. It's showing us what we know based on the available data. And so it's not going to give you a list of every single species that lives in Salt Lake City. In order to get that list, you should click the button that says Search for all bird species that migrate to or through this location. When I click that, it takes me back over to the bird species panel, and it's pre-filling the species by location filter with Salt Lake City. So now all of the species thumbnails I see are just the ones that I should expect to find in Salt Lake City. I can even go and filter down to certain months of the year. But this isn't really where I want to be right now, so I'm going to press the back button to get back over to my map. The data providers box is telling me that this map is based on connections for over 36,000 individual birds from 82 species. If I'd like to learn about the studies that were used to produce this map, I can click on this box and then I can see a list of all of those citations. I can also press the share button to get a link where I can share the Salt Lake City map with others. Now finally, onto the map itself. If I hover over locations that Salt Lake City is connected to, I can see how many different tagged birds of how many different species connect me to each one of these secondary places. I'm interested to find out what species flew from Salt Lake City all the way down to the southern end of South America. So I'll click on that hexagon, and it will tell me that that species was a Swainson's hawk. It'll also give me conservation sites I'm connected to in this faraway place. If I click on Swainson's hawk in the sidebar, it'll take me to the Swainson's hawk species connections map. Species connections maps show where tagged birds of one species have been re-encountered as they traveled across the hemisphere. I'm able to hover over locations on this map to see where else they're connected to. If I click on a location, it will lock those lines in place. From there, I can click a different location to get a different set of locked lines, or I can click again to turn that place off and return back to the hover state. That's it for the Locations and Connections video. Watch the next video to learn more about conservation challenges.